Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. Steve Buzza here, and I'm at Dainton Park, home of Richard Woods. That is right, Richard is on camera.
Hello gentlemen.
So Richard is head professional here. He's got this beautiful studio, and I'm going to give you a quick lesson on learn from my mistakes is basically the name of this video. So I played with James yesterday, had a great time at Remedy Oak, and there was a noticeable difference between my wedge play and his. My wedge play, if you've been watching the videos, I've been struggling big time, pretty much, I'll say the end of 2017, but truthfully, I've struggled all year. Struggling with distance control, struggling with contact. What is interesting with me is if you look at the divots, I put a picture up on Instagram yesterday, and the divots between me and James are so different. Mine are really big, massive lumps of earth, I suppose you would say, Richard. not ideal. James a far slimmer divot, but it's not so much the divot. The divot, I would say, in wedge play can give you a little indication, but I would say the bigger issue with me is I'm kind of cutting across it a bit more, where James was having a far more sort of action that's going to put more draw on the ball. With a wedge, you're not going to see that much curvature. But if you're someone that's struggling, I would certainly be trying to get more of a draw feeling. It helps with your delivery, it helps with the amount of spin you put on. You'll actually put more spin, not less, and I think you'll actually control the loft. One of the biggest issues I'm having is as I'm coming down and across, you actually start taking loft off.
So it's dynamic loft, isn't it?
Dynamic loft, correct. So people go, oh, that's a good way to get loads of spin, you know, hit down and get that one. You hear the sound there?
Sort of clanky. Very
clanky, but that doesn't put any spin on, because you end up taking the loft off. You don't. It's called spin loft, like we've got the TrackMan here, so TrackMan referred to it as spin loft. You actually make the direction the club is going, the angle of attack, and the loft start to match up. That reduces spin. Awesome with the driver, not so much when you're at 75 yards. So I feel like I'm not going to go too much into detail in how the technique works. Like if you've got massive technical issues, like I would say my issue isn't, I understand what I'm trying to do. I think there's a bit of a technical issue in my backswing that I need to work on to kind of resolve it. So if you're that person, you might want to look into your technique a bit more detail, maybe go have a lesson, but kind of think about what you're trying to do, and we're going to say more of a draw movement rather than a cut movement. And I think a lot of amateurs out there don't realise that that's actually the best way to perform. I've just shown you how not to do it. I'm going to get Richard to hit one, and we'll see if we can get a difference in sound. So Richard's short game tends to be a strength of yours.
I worked really, really hard because I was similar to Steve. I was very, very steep into the golf ball, big divots, and I was getting my leading edge involved a lot.
Yes.
So I was getting very, very sharp into the ball. And I played a lot of golf on links golf courses and Bigbury, which is a heath and sort of very firm turfed course. You can get away with it there. I moved to courses at Parkland, and I found I was catching a lot of fat shots, and then getting worried, sort of falling back on it and thinning them, and my strike became very, very guessy. So I'm really working on using bounce on my club better. And what we said about using dynamic loft, trying to get my loft a little bit more consistent.
So what's your kind of swing thought?
So my swing thought, I really just feel like I'm turning my body back and turning my body through, feeling I get the butt of the golf club pointing really at me the whole way through the swing. So
nice, let's see it.
Turning back, turning through. I pop my ball position a little bit further forwards than I kind of used to do.
So again, you're trying to feel shallow, not down.
Yeah.
So, and would you agree it's more of a drawy feeling than?
Yeah, I like to feel that if you imagine the target is at 12 o'clock on a clock face, I feel like I'm almost swinging to 1 o'clock through,
okay, nice.
Through the impact.
Let's see it and let's listen for this strike. Not sure how well the camera will bring it up. So that's just so much more clippy than mine, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know I was giving quite a big example of the other way.
Exaggerated, but certainly you can hear the sound. My ball flight has gone up a little bit, but now I play around with those feelings and use different clubs.
So you're not being too technical?
No, not really.
And then what else are you thinking about?
So on my wall here, I do this a lot with my players.
Oh, cool.
Is working on some different lengths of swings. It's based on the Pelz method.
Yes.
So it's working on some different length swings and keeping the tempo really, really constant. So we're not going to vary speed, we're going to vary length.
Yeah, I like that.
I've got 3 lengths of swings. As a rough rule of thumb, we've got a waist height swing. So it's waist height on the way back, turn through to waist height on the way through. I've got a 9 o'clock with my left arm and a 3 o'clock with my right arm. And I've got a shoulder swing, which is just shy of a full swing. You could call it a 10 through to 2 swing.
So I like that. And so these your clients?
Yeah, all my clients that we've done this with. And,
okay, nice.
You see noticeable improvement straight away because at the start they're guessing. They're guessing how they're going to get their distances. I sort of joke around with them saying that if I went to a catering school and somebody said, make me a lasagna, I could a lovely lasagna. Ooh. I could probably make a lasagna. I know how to make a lasagna.
I couldn't.
But if in front of me I had the ingredients, I had the right amount of ingredients, and I had a recipe book, the likelihood is I'm going to make a much better lasagna. So with this in my mind, it gives people a base point to work from.
Yeah, I like that metaphor, and it's kind of saying, so like with a driver, the difference between 5-10 yards. With a 6-iron, the difference between 5-10 yards is not a lot.
Isn't it?
With a wedge, that can be the difference between getting up and down. It can be the difference between missing the green and then having to chip on in 2-putt.
It definitely is.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Dave Pelz stuff. Like if you've got a TrackMan or you've got a launch monitor, getting those down, and then you have some numbers you can work from. Like the key thing that I'm struggling with at the minute is there's a technical issue, and you can come up with these numbers, but if there's a technical issue,
exactly,
you need to try and sort it out.
Yeah.
But once you've got a technique, and I would say with pitching, it's not hard to get a pretty consistent movement, a nice clear sort of swing thought pretty quickly.
Especially if you're using your body, because it's a big thing moving it. You're not trying to use your hands to control it. It's your body.
So you can, once you've got the movement down, having these numbers really help. Like I've got 4 wedges in the bag at the minute, and I can't utilize them because I don't really know the numbers. I've been saying in the vlogs I need to do it. Maybe I need to come and see a man.
Very possibly.
Like Richard Woods. So, thank you for letting me come in the studio.
No problem.
Thank you for. I'm probably going to use that now and try and do what we've just said.
We'll have a little game and see how we get on.
We'll see that then. But no, thanks for your time. Get some comments down below. Do you believe in kind of the Dave Pelz way of thinking of getting all your yardages? Are you somebody that's been trying to maybe deliberately try and cut it because you think you're going to get more spin? And what I've just said is actually a bit of a shock, that a bit more of a drawy feeling. You're going to get better spin, better contact, better results. Try and draw it a little, people.
Give it a go.